Welcome to Innovation Root Studio. I'm your host Nupur, and today I'm really glad to have Mr. Mark Lines with us. Mark is the co-creator of Disciplined Agile Framework, and he has co-authored 4 other books on Disciplined Agile with Scott Ambler. Hi Mark, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Mark, to start off with, I just want to understand from you, is leadership a learning process? What is your thought around it?
I believe it is. Some people say leaders are born or leaders are developed, but in my experience, I've seen people grow into leadership roles over time, and I think it's a discipline just like any other discipline. Whether you're a developer or a manager of some sort, I think leadership is a discipline. It's a craft. It's something we have to learn continuously.
Mark, I understand that you have co-created the Disciplined Agile framework along with Scott Ambler. Can you tell me what it is and why should business leaders care about it?
The Disciplined Agile framework is a collection of ideas to help business truly become agile. Agile is not new. It's been around since the mid-90s. We're getting really good at building really good agile teams. But the problem often is that the whole organization doesn't become agile. Making teams agile is what we call local optimization, but what you really need to do is optimize the whole business system. So work that Scott and I have done since our first book in 2012, where we talked about creating high-performance teams, is we've expanded the scope of the framework to include DevOps, being able to what you build, actually get it out there on a frequent basis and maintain it and running. Then we've also created some material around Agile IT, so in terms of PMOs and enterprise architecture and finance and such, how can they be agile as well? And then we've expanded our scope further into other business areas like marketing, procurement, legal, control. And it's our firm belief that unless those groups start to become agile themselves and learn how to work with agile delivery teams, your business is never going to fulfill its potential for true business agility. So in a nutshell, the framework is a collection of ideas. It's proven strategies, and we've used those strategies working with clients for many years and shown successfully that this is a repeatable pattern. You can create an agile business in a very structured fashion, and that's what the framework talks about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And why should the leadership of an organization care about it?
Well, certainly leadership should care. This isn't an IT thing anymore. Any business, it's not just the Amazons of the world, but any business these days has an IT component. And I would argue that most, if not all, business actually are IT and software-based businesses. So that can become your differentiator and your competitive advantage. And so it's really important for leadership to understand that yes, this isn't just a software thing, not just an IT thing, but to be successful as a business, you need to get good at the IT, but you also need to get agile across the entire business. So leadership definitely needs to care and get involved.
So your latest book is called Choose Your Wow. What does that mean and who is it for?
That's a good question. So our first book that we came out with is 2012. And it was, our description for how to create high-performance teams. Certainly, you have to go beyond Scrum to truly be successful. And there are different approaches. It's not just Scrum. There's lean approaches. There's continuous delivery. And we are really, it's the only toolkit to put all those ideas into one cohesive whole. It's a hybrid of all the good ideas out there. But anyway, that book was put out in 2012. Our latest book, which we just released in January 2019, is instead of saying Disciplined Agile Delivery Second Edition, we chose to rename it and call it Choose Your Wow, which stands for Choose Your Way of Working. Mm-hmm. And what the book is, it's a very comprehensive library of practices that you can use to optimize your wow or your way of working. And we truly believe that you can't follow a prescriptive method or framework and expect to truly be optimized, to be truly effective. In fact, if you're following a repeatable method such as Scrum or SAFe or something like that, at best, you're keeping up with the others. You need to go beyond following what others are doing and actually take it to the next level and optimize your way of working. And in fact, that's what we do. The Choose Your Wow techniques that we describe in our new book can be plugged into whatever method or framework you're currently using. So it's not Scrum or Disciplined Agile or SAFe or Disciplined Agile. Actually, you can take each of those and take the techniques from DAD, plug them in, and right away, it's almost like Scrum Plus or SAFe Plus. You become much more effective, and your chances of being successful using whatever framework or method you currently use, your chances of being successful go up significantly.
Mark, how can business leaders learn more about your recommended approach and become a truly agile business?
Yeah, so the third book that we wrote was targeted for executives, for business leaders. And you know, I think one of the themes of our talk is what does this mean for leaders and why should they care? We wrote a fairly easy, shorter read on an executive's guide to Disciplined Agile. And what it talks is about some of these things exactly is the importance of optimizing at all levels of the organization, why they should care, and exactly how to do it. So there's a difference between Agile adoption and Agile transformation. And what we talk about in our book is what we do ourselves. We don't just write books, we actually go out there, and we've shown over and over again that we can do this successfully, is to take a business that is struggling and not particularly agile and maybe quite traditional and move them over several years towards a truly agile business, top to bottom. And we use a technique for this called Lean Change, and we describe exactly how we do this in the book. We've got a chapter on DevOps, we've got a chapter on how we do our transformations. So my suggestion would be for your leaders watching this call is get your hands on the Disciplined Agile for Executives guide. And I'm sure that when they read it, they'll get a better understanding for what it means to be an agile business, but not just high-level ideas, concrete advice, step by step, for how they can make it happen.
Is there any place where they can learn more about it?
Well, we suggest they go to disciplined-agile.com. So disciplined-agile.com, and from there you can get to information on the framework itself, the membership and certification body, which has thousands and thousands of members, and membership is doubling every year as people start to hear about Disciplined Agile. So there's a wealth of resources, access to services or coaching. It's all can be accessed there from disciplined-agile.com.
Are there any companies in India that can help ideas around Disciplined Agile?
Yeah, certainly. You know, it's interesting. Somebody asked me this over lunch: is what are the leading countries, if you will, for adoption of Disciplined Agile? And number one is Canada, and it's probably because that's where Scott and I are from. Number two would be the U.S. for probably obvious reasons. Surprisingly, number three is South Africa. There's some big banks in South Africa who have adopted Disciplined Agile very successfully, and so there's many, I think over 1,000 members now in the consortium from South Africa. And number four, I believe, is India. So India is definitely growing very fast as they learn about alternatives to some of the other bigger, sort of more bloated and expensive agile frameworks. And there are partners. We have local partners here in India that can certainly help you out. They're certified, they teach courses, they do coaching. So what I recommend is if you go to disciplined-agile.com, you'll be able to look up a local partner in your area that might be able to help you out.
That's really helpful. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking some time out and sharing your valuable insights with us.
And my pleasure.
It was really nice having you.
It's been wonderful to be back in India. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.